Hello, very good evening. I am Chinta Rajshekhar Rao, a political analyst from Hyderabad. Today, I wish to speak about a very encouraging judgment given by Honorable Supreme Court last week regarding the working and manipulation of EVMs. I have been following this manipulation of EVM subject ever since Lok Sabha elections. We had in Andhra Pradesh simultaneously Lok Sabha and Assembly elections together. So, YSRCP has been put to a humiliating defeat. We have seen the colonies who have voted in large numbers for YCP came out in public and said that the entire people in this polling station have voted for the YSRCP and the results are totally in contrary. They are totally quite opposite. There is a polling station in Hindupuram parliamentary constituency of Andhra Pradesh where the Indian National Congress secured only one vote in Assembly and got 600 plus votes in Lok Sabha. Vice versa, YCP got one vote in Assembly and the same number of votes what Congress got in Lok Sabha in Parliament. So this shows that there is some sort of manipulation in EVM tampering. So I was curious and I was following this entire subject ever since Lok Sabha elections. I have studied the standard operation procedure drafted by our election commission. If anybody goes through that, it is clearly evident that there is 100% manipulation in EVMs. And not only that, the election commission is encouraging the perpetrators of EVM manipulation to escape from being caught. I will tell you a few instances, few examples that occurred from Lok Sabha elections. In 2024, I think on 26th April 2024 to be precise, the Honorable Supreme Court gave an order to Election Commission that if a candidate who is contesting an election has any doubts on EVMs, he can choose 5% polling stations in his constituency and seek for verification of the EVMs. And he directed Election Commission to draft the standard operation procedure and also to decide the fees to be charged for verification for each polling station. On this judgment, the then Justice Sanjeev Khanna and the recent Chief Justice, who have retired yesterday, has written with his own hands on page number 37, para number 76B, that the process of verification shall be conducted by the engineers from the manufacturers of the EVMs by conducting the microcontroller verification test. That was clearly written. The process of verification of the EVMs was clearly mentioned in the Honorable Supreme Court judgment on page 37 in para 76B. When the Election Commission drafted this standard operation procedure, they completely omitted this procedure of verifying the microcontrollers. The reason behind it should be well known to the Election Commission and the perpetrators of the EVM tampering. After the elections, when the candidates of Andhra Pradesh approached the Election Commission for verification of EVMs, they sought a test. They sought that the declared numbers of the EVM in that polling station may please be compared with VVPATs, which are already existing with the Election Commission. Election Commission came out with a strange argument stating that the Honorable Supreme Court has not directed the Election Commission to conduct the EVM verification by counting VVPATs obtained during the process of election and comparing the figure with the figures of the declared EVM figures in that particular polling station. Very well. The Election Commission is very obedient. It totally adheres to the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court. Then the candidate asks what sort of test you are going to conduct. to prove the authenticity of the and working of the EVMs. The Election Commission came up with a very strange test. They neither obeyed the orders of the Honorable Supreme Court to conduct the verification of the microcontrollers, neither they accepted the demand of the candidates to count the VVPATs obtained during the process of actual election and compare them with the declared EVM figures. The Election Commission proposed a very new and very funny process of verification of the EVMs. They said that the EVMs in question, that means wherever the candidate has doubts that I am not satisfied with the working of the EVMs in these polling stations, they will be brought back, they will be connected together, and a mock polling will be conducted with that EVMs in question. And while conducting the mock polling, the candidates who have the names of the candidates who have contested the election, their party name and their electoral symbol will not be allowed in the mock polling. Instead, dummy candidate name, dummy party name and dummy electoral symbol would be inducted into the EVMs and a mock polling will be conducted. It is so strange that if there are any instructions to the EVM that if a vote received by a party of the opposition party, say for example Congress party symbol hand, may be directed to lotus flower, and a mock polling is conducted without that actual symbols that have contested in the election, how the mock polling will expose manipulation if there was any manipulation? This was a very strange proposal by the Election Commission. The Election Commission proposed that they will count the VVPATs obtained, that is voter verified paper audit trails obtained during the process of mock polling, and compare with the control unit figures obtained in the process of mock polling, and thus they said that they will prove that the EVM's functioning is proper. My question is, when the Election Commission admits that in mock polling, the verification of the EVMs will be done by counting the VVPATs obtained during the mock polling and tallying with the figures of the control unit in mock polling, they are admitting that that is a procedure to prove the authenticity of the EVM or integrity of the EVM. Now the question is, when that procedure is accepted in mock polling, what objections do they have to count the VVPATs obtained in the actual polling and compare them with the declared figures in that polling station? The question is about manipulation during the process of actual polling. There are no questions on what happens in mock polling. The candidate has doubts that in these polling stations, I have doubts that there has been some manipulation through EVMs. So to clarify his doubts, Election Commission should come forward and count those VVPATs which were obtained during the process of actual polling and compare them with the declared EVM figures of that polling station. Totally, the Election Commission is adamantly reluctant to accept that. It's very stubborn on that. It is going to Honorable Supreme Court that we will not count the VVPATs obtained during the process of actual polling. So after this process, I have raised these points to Congress party candidates of Haryana and Maharashtra, and a few candidates were very kind to accept my queries, and Shri Gopalas Agarwal, a candidate from Gondia in Maharashtra, has written to Election Commission about the doubts raised by me, and the then Chief Election Commissioner was very annoyed with the letter of Shri Gopalas Agarwal ji. Later, Shri Gopalas Agarwal filed a petition in Honorable Supreme Court, and a judgment was received previous week. However, the judgment was not totally in favor of Sri Gopal Das Agarwal or totally in favor of the opposition party candidates, but to much extent it is a stepping stone to achieve the goal of ballot paper elections. Here, the relief given by Honorable Supreme Court is that microcontroller verification has to be done. That was agreed. In previous standard operation procedure, candidate has no right to take any engineer from his side. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court has allowed a candidate to take a representative who can also be an engineer to observe the procedure of microprocessor verification. He can take a technical expert along with him and ensure that the process of verification of the EVMs, there would be three parts of the EVMs, that is control unit, ballot unit and VVPAT. The microprocess of these components will be examined by the manufacturer of those units. That could be Electronic Corporation of India Limited or Bharat Electronics Limited. So their engineers would come and certify the working and the integrity of those parts of the EVM. So earlier there was no provision for candidate to take his engineer along with him. Now the Honorable Supreme Court has allowed to take an engineer, candidate to take his engineer also to oversee the process of verification of these microprocessors. Now the Honorable Supreme Court was very generous to direct the Election Commission that the mock polling would not be conducted with the dummy candidate name, dummy party name and dummy electoral symbols, but they would instruct, cut this. Honorable Supreme Court has instructed Election Commission to conduct mock polling with exactly the same candidate's name, same party name and same electoral symbols that were on the ballot unit during the process of actual election. So that is a big relief. And another point I raised was the Election Commission was charging a fee of 48,700 rupees. 47,200 rupees for verification of one polling station. It was this was aimed to discourage candidates to come and apply for EVM verification, because when a candidate wants to when a candidate wants to participate in election, the fee he has to pay to the Election Commission is 10,000 rupees for the entire assembly constituency, and if it is Lok Sabha, it is 25,000. Whereas to conduct a verification of one polling station, Election Commission has proposed a fee of 47,200 rupees. So if you calculate this, though the Election Commission has allowed only 5% verification of polling stations in the constituency, if you convert this into the entire polling station, entire constituency, it would be some nearly 2 to 3 crores per constituency for assembly and nearly 8 to 9 crores for Lok Sabha. So this is how Election Commission is discouraging the process of EVM verification. And there was another issue. The Honorable Supreme Court previous year have given directions that if the candidates at serial number 2 and 3 can apply for VVPAT, that EVM verification, to extent of 5% in their constituency. Whereas the standard operation procedure has said that in case both the candidates apply for this verification of EVMs, the percentage of EVMs will be restricted to 2.5% each. That means if both the candidates apply for a verification of EVMs in their constituency, they will be allowed for verification of only 2.5% each. Whereas the Honorable Supreme Court has given orders for verification of 5% polling stations in their constituency for both second and third candidates at second and third place. This is how the Election Commission has been manipulating the things. Now, the main question is, the opposition party has to raise a question that when the Election Commission has no objection to count the VVPATs obtained during the process of mock polling and compare them with the control unit figures of the mock polling, what is compelling them to count the VVPATs obtained during the process of actual polling and compare them with the declared figures of that polling station? The objection of the candidates is regarding manipulation that occurred during the process of actual polling, not during the process of, mock polling. If the entire opposition raises this question and files another petition on this very point, that when the election commission is allowing the process of counting the VVPATs during the process of actual polling, why it is adamantly stubborn and reluctant to count the VVPATs obtained during the process of actual polling. First thing, they have to raise this. Second thing, they are charging a fees to count for the verification of EVMs. When they are charging the fees, when the candidate applies for a verification of EVMs, he will come forward, the election commission will come and open that container, a sealed container, and pick those EVMs of those polling stations which the candidate has doubts. Instead of picking 5% of polling station, why can't the election commission enhance it to some 10% or 25%? Because the candidate is already paying the fees and the results have been declared. The results will be overturned only if there is any manipulation in EVMs. If the election commission is damn sure that the entire EVMs are flawless and they are foolproof, no matter whatever percentage the candidate demands for verification, they should come forward and accept that. So the honorable, the Congress party, especially the opposition, entire opposition, I request Congress party, Shri Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and Akhilesh Yadav, and Tejasvi Yadav, Mamata Banerjee, and all the MK Stalin, YS Jagan Mohan Reddy, to come together and raise this question so that the election commission ends the process of conducting the elections with the EVMs, and that will be compelled to accept elections with ballot paper. I think this is a very big solution for demanding ballot paper elections. If the entire opposition comes together and raises these questions to election commission, and if the election commission is not prepared to come and accept these conditions, so it means that is hand in glove with the perpetrators of EVM tampering. Because the election commission comes with the excuse that the Supreme Court did not allow verification of VVPATs, that is the counting of VVPATs obtained during the process of actual polling. The Supreme Court is not allowing because you are raising objections. If you do not have any objections, if you feel that the EVMs are foolproof and no manipulation can be done through EVMs, you come and file a joint affidavit with the leaders of the opposition that we are ready for verification of EVMs after declaration of results, as many polling stations as the candidate desires. If the election commission is confident that EVMs are foolproof and they cannot be manipulated, they can accept verification of EVMs after declaration of results. This should be the demand from the opposition parties to the election commission to come forward, either to come forward and file a joint petition that the election commission is confident that there cannot be any manipulation. As such, the election commission, in acceptance with the demands of the opposition parties, will allow verification of VVPATs obtained during the process of actual election to any number of polling stations the candidate desires, duly accepting the fees prescribed by the election commission. Or else, let them come forward and go for a ballot paper election. Thank you very much.